Okay, this is the next stage in the project. So previously, that header, whatever, that green piece of wood, and that rail for the barn door got put up. Now, because of the way the rain comes, it would be good if there was an overhang. So now I'm going to build an overhang above the rail, and that involves getting this 2x12 up there and then nailing on. Let me go get the boards. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, it's going to be 7 sets of these things, where there's, a rafter here, and then I don't know what you call that thing underneath, a joist, whatever. But anyway, that'll form a little overhang. Of course, it'll get sheathed and whatnot. And of course, it attaches here to this board. Now it's laying down because it doesn't really want to stand up without being fastened in. But you get the idea. So that's 7 pairs of those get installed. Now, that means, so this is how I'm going to calculate the spacing. I learned this from Dr. Dex. Totally makes sense. So there's 7 pairs of those, which means there's 6 spaces in between. You can see that there. Now, if you go down here, this 2x12 is 110 1/4 inches long, and which turned out to be a fortuitous choice, but was just luck. And then you subtract the width of the last pair, or maybe it's the first pair, it doesn't matter. It's easier to think about if it's the last pair. So that leaves between the 0 position, which is the left of the first rafter, and the beginning of the last rafter, that leaves 108.75 inches, and divided by the 6 spaces, and that means 18.125. So every 18.125, which is 18 1/8, there's another rafter pair. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to mark this board where those rafter pairs go while it's down on the ground, and everything's easy, and then it'll be relatively easy to nail them up when it's installed. Okay, I'm marking the location of the studs on the header board, and then I'm running some structural screws through the header into the studs, and then I follow up with some nails just to make it extra secure. Okay, now I'm going to attach the tiny rafters. I just tack them in place. Well, not really. They're fixed in place pretty good with a nailer, and then I follow up with deck screws just to make it a little extra secure, and add some pull-out strength. So yeah, I put 7 of those up. And what I didn't show when that header was down on the ground was that I put a bevel on the top edge. So that's a 3/12 pitch on those rafters, and then I put a 3/12 pitch bevel, corresponding bevel on the top of that. So I'm fixing those things on pretty good. But then when the roof decking goes on, it'll get nailed on the top of the header and into those rafters. So those things won't be going anywhere. Now I'm installing the fascia board. So I put it up near the top and mark where the position of the rafters is on the fascia. And that way I can make sure that if there's any misalignment of those rafters, I can sort of nudge them into shape when I'm nailing the fascia on, so that they, the spacing is correct all the way down. It's probably not necessary. I think they were on there pretty straight. Okay, there's a quick tour of this overhang. You can see I got the roof sheathing on, and I got this fascia board on, and I'm going to put a soffit on here. And I just wanted to I'll show like the underside. You see where those two boards meet. It's not always the cleanest. I think I might have showed that before. And then I put some structural screws through to tie those together. It's screwed on to that ledger board. And then I had some leftover zip sheathing, so I put that on the end. And then I'm gonna see the overhang is much too large. I'm gonna trim this out, and then I'll trim the overhang and got the fascia board maybe to a 1/4 inch past the trim to neaten that up, and then it'll get drip edge, gutter, and shingles. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I cut. Maybe you can see. Can I zoom in real time? Yeah. So I got a bunch of these boards, and you know what? I'm going to nail these up, and then I'll show you what I did. But I want something behind that fascia board to sort of nail the soffit board too. So anyway, check back when I'm ready to put the soffit board on. There's the blocking. I forgot I needed blocking at the back too, so I sort of ran out of that 2x2 stock. So I got continuous blocking at the front, right behind I don't know I can never remember the name of that stupid thing. It's the call it a valance for now, fascia board. And then I made some shorter blocking for the back, which is really all that's needed. And I tacked it in. So now I'm going to cut some soffit boards, and I'm going to stick those up, and then I'll show what that looks like. Okay, well, now I'm getting the drip edge on here. It's been a minute since I tackled this thing. Okay, it's a drip edge. It hangs over the edge like this. I got it clamped here. I'm going to go down here and mark. Well, I already marked the other end. Now I got to go cut it, which I can't do one-handed, so I'll cut it and then show that when it's done. So I'm leaving a tiny little space right there at the where the drip edge, really, I don't know, maybe there's a way to sort of straighten these out, but of course it looks like there's going to be like a kind of a gap thing here. That's okay. I left a little space so that the gutter can slide underneath there, because the way this sort of hangs over the path, the water runs off, it leaves like the drips kind of mess up the pathway. So I'm going to put gutters on this. Anyway, I left a little gap there. Otherwise, I'd have gone a little tighter. Okay, I'm going to call this essentially done. I still got a little trim at the end, but I got the drip edge on. I got the shingles on. I'll go up on the scaffold here in a second, and we'll have a quite quick look at the shingles. But this overhang that got sort of bolted onto the front of this shed is looking good. Now, the door. Okay, here's the shingles. They're shingles. This took about, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4 of a bundle. So it's a little less than 3 shingles wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4 courses. That's about 12 shingles in here. Plus all the scraps. So, I don't know how many shingles are in a bundle. But there you go. Got to flash this at some point and do the siding, but I think I'm going to focus on the door next. Do that again. Okay, this is one final comment. I was going to go into a little bit more detail, while I was getting that roofing on, showing the drip edge getting installed and the underlayment, et cetera, but the storm was a storm was blowing in. I wanted to get it done before the rain hit, and looks like I made it. It did drizzle a little bit, but no big deal. But I didn't want to spend time trying to do video while I was getting this roof on. But anyway, it came out pretty good, and there's plenty of roofing videos on YouTube, so I wouldn't really have anything to add.